Thank you, David, and thank you for all the BFI's support on this project. I'm also just going to say a few words. First of all, welcome, and it's lovely that we've had such a fantastic response to the conference, which is, of course, part of this AHRC-funded project. And we have such a range of exciting speakers over the next couple of days, so we're all really looking forward to it, and thank you very much for your participation. I'm going to say a little bit about the project of which this conference is part, and I'm not sure if we can pull up the presentation or not. Yeah, that's perfect, thank you. This project is part of the AHRC-funded Connected Communities strand, and it's led by myself. I'm a media sociologist based at Brunel University, and the co-investigators on the project are Caroline Chapin from the Business School, University of Birmingham, and Dr. Roberta Communion from the Creative Industries Department at King's College London. So already we're coming to this question of community filmmaking, cultural diversity, from a range of disciplines and perspectives and areas of expertise, and different ways of thinking about community filmmaking. So that's the first thing that I want to say. And the project itself has been concerned with looking at how community filmmaking practices in culturally diverse contexts contribute to the wider film ecology and to questions of representation, identity and innovation, and how this contribution can be better supported by policy. So that's really the fundamental aim that has underpinned the project. And the outputs and the dissemination, and of course this conference, are all designed to facilitate an exchange of knowledge between a range of stakeholders and those within the academy and beyond the academy as well. There's basically three phases of the project. I think we can see two up there. I'm not quite sure why. I can see three on my screen here, but I'll speak through them. The first phase was very much about gathering up-to-date literature and devising our key concepts and really firming those up. The second phase was about primary data gathering in 3 English regions. And so we conducted case studies, and we'll say a lot more about this evening when we present some of our emergent findings. And we've also been involved in a range of interviews with community filmmakers and key institutional stakeholders, and also participant observation of those organisations that support community filmmaking. And the third phase, which is where we're at now, has been about preliminary analysis of that data and also dissemination. Now, I must mention, because it's of course very, very important in a big project like this, that we've had a range of partners that have been involved with us, and we really could not have done the project without them. Those include City Eye, which is based in Southampton, Lighthouse in Wolverhampton, and WorldRight, which is based in London. And each of these organisations, in different ways and with varying resources and capacity, support community filmmaking in culturally diverse contexts. And we're really pleased to have all 3 of our partners here today, and they will each be presenting some of the work that their organisations do later on in the networking event in the evening. And as I mentioned, the BFI have also supported this project, and really for them, they said that they're especially pleased to be involved in this project because it will enrich their knowledge in this area. So I think it's very significant that we're holding this conference here today at the British Film Institute. And I also want to mention Babylon, that are a European-facing film company, because of course, even though our case studies have been focused in English regions, this is a project with an important international dimension, and we're really pleased and honoured to have some esteemed international keynote speakers here, as well as speakers from the UK. And many of the international people that have been involved in the project have been involved in the advisory board, which we set up at the start of the project. And really the advisory board have been an excellent form of support for this project and helped us to really refine the research process, extend our knowledge and our networks, and also firm up our terminology. I was thinking about technology because of the slight cut of the slides there. Excuse me. And working with our partners, the main reasons, the two motivations for working with our partners is that they have helped to make the research project relevant to current practices and issues of the sector. And also, they have helped us to understand some of the challenges and frameworks derived by working with the community sector, the voluntary sector, and changing funding landscapes. Okay. Why are we doing it? Okay, I won't go through all of these, but you can see from here, these are some of the key aims of our projects. We really are concerned with putting the community filmmaker at the centre of our research process. So to explore the practice of community filmmaking in the UK and how it relates to cultural diversity. So the role played by the community filmmaker, that's very much been at the heart of the project. But we're also interested in how community filmmakers and community filmmaking is positioned in relation to the broader framework of the film industry. So always in relation to what's going on there and how that impacts on community filmmaking and vice versa. We also interested in training organisations and the role of cultural intermediaries in supporting community filmmaking. And we are essentially concerned with considering the role of community-led and participatory approaches to community filmmaking. Again, we'll say more about that this evening in terms of how we have used community filmmaking as a definition in our research. And I just want to put this slide up because it sometimes produces some gasps. This is a recent revelation, really, from Creative Skill Set in their census 2012, which they first profiled in November last year. And what this shows is a broad overview of the way in which diversity, in a very broad sense, actually works in relation to film production. And what we can see there is that actually there has, if we just look, for example, at black and minority ethnic, we can see there that since 2009, there has in fact been a decline of diversity with regards to those communities in film production. So there's something going on there in terms of the industry. We can also see a decline in terms of disabled communities working in film production, and also in terms of women, there's been a slight reduction there. So that's the kind of backdrop that we're talking about. And we're interested in thinking about what is happening in community filmmaking context. Is there something potentially different or oppositional or innovative? What is happening within community filmmaking that helps us to understand maybe that broader context and accessibility, really, for various communities? So the conference, how does it fit? Well, as I've said, the conference is very much part of the research process. It's also, importantly, and we all love this about conferences, and what better place is there to do it than here, a space for networking, a space for academic and practitioner discussion, and, as I said, showcasing of work, which we'll be doing this evening in conjunction with our community partners. And really, the conference allows us to address our key project themes. So we're interested in these questions of place, policy, diversity, innovation. These are the key themes that really tap into our focus in the project. And quite broadly, the conference is helping us further understand and helping us to consider community filmmaking in culturally diverse contexts in the UK and beyond. And you'll have noted from the schedule that we do have a really healthy range of perspectives, and as I said, really thrilled to have lots of international speakers here. And so I'll leave you with that. Those are our contact details. Do feel free to tweet. We're kind of trying to get on top of the whole social media side of things as much as possible, but do feel free to tweet. Those are the contact details of myself and Caroline and Roberta. So if you'd like to contact us about anything, or if you'd like to talk to us at any point over the 2 days, we'd really welcome your feedback and your thoughts.